I just went to Home Depot and we purchased 2 of the Arrow Newport metal sheds, the 8x10 size. They were on sale for $319. It came to $341 with tax. Here's what it looks like inside of the box. These edges are very fragile, so if you are building this and you decide to go the route of laying out the pieces, you definitely want to leave enough room to walk around, because you may find that you lose your balance, step on a piece, and it's scronked for good. Safety precautions. Assembly tips and tools. Watch the weather closely. Be sure the day you choose to install your building is dry and calm. Do not attempt to assemble your building on a windy day. 2 or more people are required to assemble your building. 1 person can hold the parts or panels in place while the other person fastens them together. Aaron's going to be home really soon, so I'm going to go through this and see if it's something I think we can do. What kind of base do I use? Build a wood deck floor, and we have exterior grade plywood. So yeah, looks good so far. More of the parts list. There's a lot of stuff here, so we definitely are going to go through and count all the stuff I've laid out. I've checked through our parts list, and even though there's technically 1 piece, that ridge cap, that I wasn't able to specifically identify, I'm pretty sure that it's in here, and these pieces are kind of hard to move around, so I'm just gonna say that I'm confident it's here and move on. Step 1 is putting together these 2 beams. We've pulled them out. We just need to get the nuts and bolts. We're not going to be securing these to the floor. We're just going to secure them to each other. We'll be doing this twice. There's 2, and then here are 2. There's quite a bit of overlap there.
So what I noticed is when I push these down, they snap kind of tight.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's cool and it's terrible at the same time. That means we have to also line up the holes before we push them down.
Oh,
so I had to
see what you're saying.
I had to take them back off real quick to make them work. So we're doing this. Okay.
Very nice.
Getting a nut. Right now I'm just getting it threaded. The other 2 go down to the other side. So they're reversed here.
Okay.
And this one's a lot harder.
I love you. You're amazing.
I love you, babe.
This reminds me of putting together a basketball goal, though, where we're like, it's a 2-day task. After putting these sections together, we are moving on to the next step. Oh wait, never mind, it's step 1 continued. Okay, 8936, is that what's next?
The next step of 1.
The next step of 1. Oh my gosh, I love you. Okay, no, but seriously, that's 8936.
Yep.
Hold your breath. Aaron just pointed out that you have to pay special attention to each step. On the second part of step 1, it looks like it's the same, but it's actually not. It does say here that you only need to use washers on the painted parts, so not on this section.
Now we have a ramp piece, which is this.
Okay.
That looks like sits in between them both.
Yeah, you're getting kisses from Lydia. Very nice. We love you, baby.
You're the best, Daddy.
You're the best. It says that these drain holes right here have to be facing out, or the front.
Okay, 299.17, 259.86.
Yep.
Okay. Here are the 99.17s.
So this one was a little weird and tricky.
It's a little hard to film when kids are poking at you.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Oh, okay, okay. We're back at it. Nut on the inside.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, where are we now?
Step 3.
Ooh, roof beams. one done. Very nice. That's a lot.
Then 2 right there. Yep. More roof beams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't look easy. So that's all 4 pieces you're trying to screw through?
Yep.
Wow.
And so right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to drive these screws through each one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not easy.
The center beam is together now. What's next?
Step 4.
Ooh, step 4. Here we go. Stop racing through it.
Only 14 more steps after this one.
And this has only been how many hours? Like 2 hours.
Yeah. All right, 6403, one of those. It's called a track splice.
Okay.
9366, which is called the door track. And then a door slide, which has no number, but it's probably the only thing like it.
Okay, those door slides were actually in the bag with the nuts and bolts.
Essentially, now we're at step 5. And all step 5 is doing is taking everything we got from the other steps, like step 1, and then we're going to start setting them out on the ground. And we're going to screw them all together and make sure that they're all square.
Okay, so we'll button this up for tonight.
Yep.
Okay, so we're doing the floor frame assembly. This looks really nice.
Mom, this takes a lot of work.
It does take a lot of work, baby.
We're going to build another one.
We are going to build another one up there on that platform.
Got a nut and bolt.
Okay, nut and bolt. Check.
On the front ones, there's a little area over here that they thread through.
Oh, good job, baby. There, hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh, okay. Very nice. Wow, that was hard.
It was. All right.
All the pieces are together now. Hello, Lydia. One of these sections is now attached, so you see that's one corner piece and one side panel. It definitely is hard to hold these up. They're attached in 3 places, the top, the middle, and the bottom. We'll be doing this same thing 3 more times. When you're putting these sections together, if you start with the middle one, it makes it a little bit easier to get it lined up because it's really kind of a tight fit getting these holes in the same spot. We've now finished up step 6. So essentially now we have 4 corner sections. Each one is attached to a panel. Are we attaching these?
Yep.
Oh, really? How are they going to hold themselves up?
There's ridges.
Beware of wind.
So I'm assuming none of these things are going to hold themselves up easily.
Okay, 6627 in the back, 9374 in the front. Okay, so it's on the outside ledge. I'll hold it. The first one is up. It's looking good. So this is the hole that they were saying not to drill in. Here you can see the holes are lining up beautifully. That has not been the case as we've been trying to line up the screws along this edge. There's a little bit of a bowing there in the center. As long as you can see the hole, you can kind of finagle it and make it fit. Next up, we're going to be revisiting the sections we put together at the beginning.
They clearly have one over the other.
So order is important. It took us a minute to figure out that this bar needs to go on the inside. Ooh, step 8.
Says no hardware needed for this step.
Oh, okay, interesting. Here are the 6627s. Yeah, here are the 8200s. Wow, I think there's like an angry squirrel back there, baby. Whoa, you hear that? As I am working on the shed today, I have noticed that step 8 really is more about laying out the panels than attaching them. You are going to be fastening them to the floor frame and then also to the wall angles and then also to the wall channels. If you are working by yourself and you have any of these clamps, they work beautifully to hold one panel in place at a time. This is tricky because you can't be both on the back side of the panel and the front side at the same time. I was able to successfully get this one in, so I guess sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Okay, on this one I actually bent the metal by pushing a little bit too hard, but if you don't quickly connect with the nut on the other side, it'll fall off. Here's what it looks like with all of the walls attached. Next up are the door jambs, and we'll need some screws, some nuts, some bolts. What, babes?
Echo.
There's definitely an echo in here, babe. 9370, those are the pieces we need. Secure door jambs with 2 screws in the top and bottom of each panel as shown. Okay. I have 2 screws secured in the top, and I'll be using these 2 screws to secure the bottom. Step 9 is now done, and we're moving on to step 10. Going back to step 2, you can see that 9917 is indeed the rear wall channel. - 9922 are the sidewall channels, so that's what I'll be looking for my next step. Someone will have to help you by pushing or holding up these channels on the inside so that you can secure them, basically screwing from the outside in. These sections come tightly packed together and they are really difficult to try and separate. In addition to the left and right gables, I also need to gather 4 brackets for this page, 5971. Here's what those edge trim pieces look like that will be going on the top of the gable sections. The picture certainly makes it look like the plastic is going to be the same length as the top of the gable. The rest of step 11 shows you how to attach these to the rest of the shed. You can see that the holes on the bracket are actually bigger than the holes that are in the gable itself. So I'm just going to make sure that when I put that bolt through, I don't tighten the nut all the way. Next up, we're going to be attaching the gables to the rear wall angle. Now, here is a thing. It states here that you need to make sure the gable fits under the side wall angle at the corner. These 2 pieces, you really have to try and scrunch them to get them to both fit in this space. Next up, we're going to put the gables in the front and attach it to the door track. Okay, so it should sit like this. Roof framing. And of course, as I'm going to attach this, I realize, why is there not a hole there? Oh look, the hole is over here. I put the brackets on wrong. And not only on this side, but also on this side, which means I have to take this beam down, flip those brackets around, and start again. Okay, now that oopsie is fixed, roof corners. Looks pretty crazy. Here is 8468 and 8469. They'll be attached like this. In step 1, we'll be securing the first end panel to the main roof beam. We will also be carefully removing the gable edge trim. The first corner is now in. It came just under that branch, which I like. Per the instructions, I'm leaving open the holes here and also the holes at that far end. I just realized that I have forgotten to use washers on this step. Moving on now, we're going to step 14. I'll go ahead and grab these roof panels, 7483 and 6529. I'm realizing now that it's a bit of a problem that we don't have the weather stripping tape. It looks like we're supposed to apply that tape to these roof ridges. Here is where I should have some of that weather stripping tape, and I don't. I had so much trouble trying to line up the roof panel here to the center beam. If you are working on trying to get these panels together and it just won't line up, I would suggest coming down off of the ladder and kind of messing with the frame a little bit. I mean, you can see it still has movement. It's not secured to the base yet. I was absolutely amazed that after coming down and kind of playing around a little bit, I went back up the ladder and the holes lined up. It was absolutely amazing. Hey guys, welcome to the shed. Okay, so I actually have the screw in there, but I can't press it down and I need a nut to go on the other side. That's really cool. Oh, I love you. It's not floating,
you
it's
still gotta drill it in.
It's grip. Oh, I gotta drill it in, okay. Yeah! Awesome, baby. Thank you. I don't really know how to use this. Have you ever used weather stripping tape?
Nope.
That looks hard.
So this tape is fragile.
It's fragile tape. It's good that you're putting it on sharp edges.
Yep.
Your weather stripping looks amazing, baby. We now have these 4 panels on. We forgot to put pieces of tape over the bolts, so that's kind of a thing. Now we're looking for 8840. That is this piece here, and the smaller piece was laying inside of it. Those bolts are in now. We're leaving the ones at the end open, and these are open too. Are we clear to put the next 2 panels on now?
I don't know, let's look at the direction.
Okay.
I guess we gotta put the other panels on.
Yeah, we have the last 2 panels.
Yep. I noticed you didn't use washers up here on this roof.
What? Washers where? Oh, yeah, I did tell people that was a mistake, I think. I'm trying to make up for my mistakes. So not enough washers on the roof. Okay, we've got roof trim left. How hard could this possibly be? Here we go. This has to be the roof trim. And 4. Okay, so trim caps, peak end cap. Aaron is putting on the roof trim on the right side, and while he's up there, he went ahead and screwed the roof panels in to the frame. So now all of these screws are in all the way across. And then we used bolts and nuts when we got to this middle section here. We'll do this on the far side before putting the left trim on as well. Has an R on the inside.
The R stands for ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, oh my gosh. And Aaron cut himself on the edge, which we won't show you, but it's definitely, these metal pieces are sharp.
Yep. Sharper than we are.
Sharper than we are. You're so funny. We're not sharp at this point. Oh, you're sharper than me though. Wow. I mean, this is really hard. This is really hard, people. If you're building a shed on an incline, you really need to don't, basically. I mean, we can't get to the back there where the bushes are. There will not be a cap on the back side. On the left side, the trim goes short piece and then long piece. So, yeah.
It's the opposite of the right side.
Yeah, so
they have the exact same pieces, and the only way it works is if you do them in opposite order.
okay. We are moving on to door assembly, and this is the last step. Just kidding. Door install is the last step. 10477. One of those. Okay, I need 3719, 6300, and then a handle. Here's what the pieces on the back of the door look like when they are assembled. The handle is on here as well. We're going to be putting pieces on either end. We'll be attaching 2 door guides to this first door, and then we'll go ahead and repeat these steps for door number 2. Both doors are now ready. So basically we're going to be screwing each of the doors into the tracks that are on the top. We've got the door in the door track. It seems easy enough. Thank you, Marcus, for holding it. The first screws are now in place. What we're looking for is to line these up with the center hole, and then this door will be on. It closes beautifully. We happen to have these exterior deck screws that are 1 1/4 inch, and it looks like these might actually be perfect for securing that shed to the frame. We'll see. And also, we are having a well put in, and there's going to be pipes that are going to run through this part of the yard. I had to dig up a whole bunch of bushes, and I found these amazing flat stones running along the edge of the driveway. I'm going to use these to create a nice little path into the shed. That's the plan. We have this pile. I'll be loading this up into our wheelbarrow and taking it over 1 trip at a time, and this will go in front of the shed. The kids are helping me to compress the dirt. We've got our first stone. This is going to look really good, guys. We have some old pieces of lattice that we used to use when the kids were smaller to keep them from wandering into the road. We would bungee these to a couple of lawn chairs to hold them up. And now I'm going to give these pieces new life outside of the shed. Okay, so shed number 1 is basically done. The main structure of the shed is now done. I'm going to anchor the bottom around the edges, and then when Aaron gets home, we will discuss what the flooring kit looks like. We have decided to assemble the floor frame kit for the second shed. Here are the pieces. The diagram looks fairly straightforward. We'll be using the nuts and bolts that came in the shed kit. Assemble parts that overlap. Bend tabs and assemble remaining parts. Here's the correct way and the incorrect way. And here's what that first connection looks like. You'll want to make sure you wear gloves when you do this because the edges are sharp. Even after removing the screws that I put in to secure the shed, I still was not able to move the frame out wide enough to slide these into the slots. So I've gone to using a mallet to essentially force this in. These inner support pieces have gone in way easier. Lids and I are going to go and pick up some wood for the floor. Here's what the floor looks like now. It's not screwed in yet. We'll get some drywall screws and take care of that. So 2 months later, and both of the sheds are up. That was definitely harder than I had hoped, but it was a really affordable way for us to get a lot of storage space, and we needed that. Yeah. So I think it was overall a good purchase. Under $1,000 each. It was like basically $350 for the shed, $350 for the foundation.
Yep. They look nice, and they actually fit because we happen to have another one already on the property that that her mother had set up years ago.
We recommend it.
Mommy?
Yeah, baby.
I hope there can be a bed attached to me so I can stand while I'm heading to bed.
You want to walk around with a bed attached to you? Man, I think a lot of people feel that way. Yeah.
I really want to rest while standing.
You want to rest while standing. I love you.